What is up, guys? Rick Kackis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today, oh my goodness, we got a lot of brand new Destiny 2 information, and this is coming from Bungie director Luke Smith. He released basically another director's cut, although not officially called director's cut. It's just a massive wall of text, a massive amount of information, and it's titled Seasons in Destiny 2's third year. So this information really goes into not really Shadowkeep, but rather the season of the Undying, which is the next season in D2 that's launching alongside of Shadowkeep, and also importantly goes beyond Shadowkeep. What's coming with the annual pass that is going to be installed once Shadowkeep's season is done, and then we have the December and then the next spring 2020 season and all of that stuff. That's important to know, and finally we found out more about it, so let's get started. So, first off, Luke Smith says Year 3 will have 4 fully supported seasons of content. Last year's annual pass only had 3. But this year, you can opt into each season for $10. You don't have to pay upfront for an entire year of content, like with the Forsaken annual pass. FYI, the first season in this new vision, Season of the Undying, is included with Shadowkeep, but if you just want to experience Season of the Undying, you can grab it a la carte without needing Shadowkeep. So that's pretty interesting. Basically, they're saying that the Season of the Undying with Shadowkeep has enough content that it feels like its own unique season. Basically, with Forsaken, that season was essentially Season of Forsaken. There wasn't too much seasonal stuff going on, it was all Forsaken stuff going on. This will have more of a divide. The next thing Smith says is that each season within Year 3 will blend into one another. The events of one will lead into the events of the other seasons, saying specifically, in Season of the Undying, the portal to the Black Garden that was opened as part of the raid has awoken the Vex, and now they are pouring out across the surface of the moon. Working with Ikora, players will do some stuff, go somewhere, fight some things, solve a problem, aka redacted, don't want to spoil anything. By the end of the season, the portals will close. The world state will change, and the seasonal activity connected to it will go away. Yet something remains. This will be just in time for Redacted to kick off the start of Season 9, Season of Dawn. So Season of Dawn, that is after Season of the Undying, and that's the first time we've even heard what that's called being mentioned. He continues, everyone who plays Destiny will be able to see how the world is different and changing during the season. Those with the season pass will be able to play a seasonal matchmate activity within the Black Garden for that extra level of sweet gear. But the goal is that everyone will be involved in how the world changes. Now, of course, bit of a red flag, I'm sure, for some of you listening, the fact that activities are going to go away when these seasons end. But importantly, Smith does say that the loot connected to those activities will be coming back in some capacity. He says, not immediately after the season ends, but in shorter than 6 months. So likely there'll be a 1-season gap, and then you can start to earn old seasonal rewards. If there's great guns and armor hidden behind there, that's what you'll need to do. In fact, I'm gonna go very out of order here, but Luke Smith describes how these new seasons would work if those ideas were implemented for the last annual pass. So he says, a week before the season begins for Season of the Forge, again, if these ideas were already in the game, all players would receive a note in their mailbox that reads, I have returned from the stars, meet me on December 4th at 10:15 a.m. PST, Ada. Once this note has been given out, a small countdown timer appears on the Traveler. When the time reaches 0, players in the tower will see a ship unlike any they've seen land between Zavala and Lord Shaxx. A figure transmats out and walks through the tower, opening a door that had long been shut. Players follow the character through the tower, and the figure lowers her hood and greets players, I am Ada, and we have work to do. And then you start doing Black Armory stuff, forging weapons, etc. But he continues. As the community plays, meta objectives are revealed. Once a certain number of players have unlocked ranks in the past, we're going to talk about that in a sec, cinematics unlock for everyone to watch. We see the Drifter and Ada arguing over something, pitting the two against each other. The scene ends with the Drifter raising an eyebrow at a set of gun schematics behind Ada. And then as the season winds to a close, the Drifter begins to summon players to him. He's having a new space built in the tower, and the first people he asks to help are those who've earned the title of Dredgen. Now players begin to gather materials and donate them to fund the Drifter's new scam. The Drifter won't stop talking about the gun schematics he saw behind Ada. Very late in the season, players notice Ada's room looks like it's packed up. She's leaving. The schematics that sat behind her are missing. Over the course of the next few weeks, she packs her equipment, and in an event similar to her arrival, she vanishes. Ada and her wares are gone. And then you're going to eventually be called to the Drifter. So that's a really good example of how this new system is going to work. It's almost going to be, I hate to say it, but like a Fortnite style event in the game where everyone can kind of watch this happen. And then, like with that example, the seasons will bleed together. You know, with the old annual pass, nothing really came up about the Drifter until the season of the Drifter started, and then it was all about him and nothing about Ada. Having them argue and kind of the Drifter appear halfway through the season, getting ready for the next season, that really improves the flow. Alright, so what are some of the new things that you're going to be getting when a new season starts, especially if you're a Seasons Pass owner? Well, firstly, you have the Seasonal Artifact. And this is going to be free to all players, whether or not you own the Seasons Pass. This, as you can see, is going to, when you level it up, unlock more and more seasonal mods. Smith says that these are not just your average mods. In fact, they're quite powerful, kind of actually really hammering down on the issue that this seasonal artifact is going to contain mods that are going to allow you to craft builds that may frankly be overpowered. And the fact is that this seasonal artifact will disappear. The mods will go with it when a new season starts, and a new seasonal artifact will appear. You're going to have to level it up all over again. By the way, when you level it up with experience, you're going to gain power account-wide, and that power is uncapped, so you can go as high as you want in terms of power level as long as you put the time in. But because it has that end date, because, you know, if something is overpowered, it's only going to last until the end of the season, they say they're much more likely to experiment with very, very powerful abilities and mods. But moving on from there, there's something else you're going to be kind of leveling up as you play within a season, and that is your seasonal rank. So here's a look at what that looks like. It's basically a battle pass. It's a battle pass. They call it the season pass, but essentially just by playing the game, doing bounties, doing activities, just playing Destiny 2, you will gain essentially experience and you will increase your seasonal rank. We can see here the player is rank 56 in Season of the Undying. So expect every season, Undying, Dawn, and then whatever the other two are, to have this seasonal pass. So obviously the big question is, well, what do you get in this pass? Well, the season pass owners will get access to the following. Firstly, the new seasonal activity, the Vex Offensive, which includes 4 legendary weapon drops, additional weekly and daily bounties, additional weekly challenges with powerful rewards. Also, a new weapon quest for an exotic bow, the Leviathan's Breath. That's probably the exotic heavy bow. We've seen quite a lot. And then a new exotic hand cannon, the Arena's Vow. Now, this is awarded on rank 35 of the free track, so it is available to all players, but it's rank 1 for the premium track. And the premium and free, basically it's if you buy the seasonal pass, aka if you buy those seasons, like essentially if you bought the annual pass and you had Season of the Forge, and Season of the Forge had this kind of battle pass implemented, you would get the premium slot. So a lot of us have kind of already been there. This isn't necessarily an extra cost per se. This is just kind of a different way of doing things and doing rewards. In addition to that, there's 3 seasonal legendary armor sets, 1 for each class, and you can collect a complete set for doing the first 25 ranks of the free track, and this is a change from the annual pass where you were required to purchase the gear from the season. But on the premium track, you get all 3 sets on rank 1. These will also drop within the Vex Offensive seasonal activity if you want the higher stats, kind of better rolled versions. And some additional premium track rewards include 3 Universal Ornament armor sets, an exotic ornament for the Vow, 2 legendary weapon ornaments, a new finisher, an exotic emote, and an exotic ship. So, another big question, can you purchase tiers? Well, Smith says not off the start. They're looking to enable the ability to actually purchase tiers as a catch-up mechanic like 2 to 4 weeks before the season ends. So that's actually pretty good. You don't want like everyone just spending a bunch of money and buying everything that first day and getting advantages over players who don't per se. And they also do say that once that season does end, the season pass kind of will go away. So if you're rank 80 out of 100, there's 100 ranks overall, then you'll miss out on some of those rewards. But Smith does also say that if you're just playing strikes, if you're playing like an hour of strikes, not even, and you're handing in Vanguard bounties, you'll go up a rank in, again, less than an hour. So the hardcore players, if you sit there and you grind, you do a bunch of activities, you're handing in bounties, you should be able to go up like multiple ranks in a day easily. But of course, we have this nebulous now of the paying players versus the free players, because remember, Destiny 2 New Light, the free-to-play version, launches at the same time as Shadowkeep. What will New Light non-paying players have access to? Well, Smith goes into that. So, firstly, they're going to get the patrolling of the moon destination, the opening mission of Shadowkeep, 2 new strikes, Crucible updates, 2 returning PvP maps, Widow's Court and Twilight Gap, the Elimination game mode in Crucible Labs, Armor 2.0 build customization, so that's free for everyone, the Eye of the Gate Lord seasonal artifact, new finishers, 2 new pinnacle weapons, 1 for Gambit and 1 for Crucible. Notably, the Vanguard one isn't here, that's interesting. Free seasonal rank rewards, which includes, so again, this is for that kind of battle pass, seasons pass we looked at. In the free section, if you don't pay, you will get a new exotic weapon, the Vow, again at rank 35, 3 legendary armor sets, 1 per class, 2 legendary weapons, the best of year 2 bright engrams, and glimmer and upgrade modules. So, I actually don't hate this season pass idea. It gives you a great thing to keep track of and a great set of rewards to go for. Right now, like, you often arrive at issues where there's nothing really to do in Destiny 2 and you know, you just have so much RNG with a season pass, you know exactly what you're getting at what ranks. If you want a certain reward, you can grind to that reward. It's very transparent about what you're going to get. The one thing I'm not so much of a fan of is giving away for the paying players an exotic weapon rank 1. Like, exotics are supposed to be special, just handing one out for handing them your money, I don't know, something feels wrong about that. Again, it's not too pay to win because free players also have access to it and all that stuff, but I would have preferred it put into the loot pool or an exotic quest around it or something like that. But, you know, not too much to complain about because this is kind of the first time we're seeing this in Destiny 2. We're going to have to see how this plays out. And at the end, Bungie does say we're still going to have things like holiday events, dungeons, and secret missions, and all kinds of stuff that we hope surprises you. So overall, this does seem like an improvement over the annual pass last year. Remember, it's pretty much the same amount of money you're spending on this time of season's pass, last time an annual pass, but you seem to be getting a little bit more content that flows from one season into the next season, so it makes more sense, and this new seasonal pass system that provides a set track of rewards, which is better than pure RNG. And so guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, learned something new. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.